What's up, guys? Welcome back to Maths with Gaston. I am Gaston Mabala. Today let's have a look at grade 11 November exam paper 1. Today we're looking at question 2. Please stay tuned to this channel. We are going to post other questions as we continue to do with this past paper. This is from Gauteng province paper. Now let's have a look at 2.1. Said simplify without the use of the calculator. They give us 3 questions, and then 2.2 they give us that question there. They said determine without the use of the calculator the following values x, y, and z. So I'm going to break it down nicely. We're going to start with 2.1 and then break it down as we move along. So let's go to 2.1. Let's go to 2.1. all right. Okay, technical issues here. All right, here we are. Let's look at 2.1.1. all right, so what you have here, you have got exponents, and says this chapter is based on exponents and said. Okay, so what you can do here, you've got 512, and 512 you can go into your Casio calculator, press 512 equal sign, and then you shift fact. All right, this is how you would get the factors. You go to your calculator, said 512, then you press equal sign, and then after pressing equal sign it will give you 512. Then you go to your calculator, then you say shift, after saying shift, then you press fact. It will give you the factors of 512. It will give you the answer of 2 to the power of 9. That's what it will give you, 2 to the power of 9. all right, so that's how you would deal with this one. So it's going to give you 2 to the power of 9 x to the power of cube all over 64. You will do the same thing with 64 equal sign, it will say 64. Then you go to your calculator, then you say shift. After saying shift, then you go press fact, and then it's going to give you the factors of 64, which in this case I'm finding them to be 6. all right, so it's going to be 2 to the power of 6 x to the power of -3, all of this in a bracket to the power of -1/3. all right, therefore you would remember, if you have got an exponent outside the bracket, it has to multiply everything that is inside the bracket. So in this case, it means now this is what we are going to have. 2 to the power of 9 multiplied by -1/3, -1/3, and therefore x to the power of 3 multiplied by 1/3 rather, and therefore 2 to the power of 6 multiplied by -1/3, and then we have got here again x to the power of -3 multiplied by -1/3. Don't make a mistake, guys. Please make sure that you revise the laws of exponent. If you have to check on this channel, we do have a lesson on exponent. I'll try to link it on the description below. all right, now we can simplify this here. When we multiply this, 9 multiplied by -1/3 is going to give us 2 to the power of -1. Now it's going to give us 2 to the power of -3 rather. Here is going to give us 3 goes how many times into 9? It goes 3 times into -3, and therefore here 3 and 3 would cancel out. Therefore we're left with x to the power of -1 all over. Here we are going to be left with 2 to the power of -2, and therefore 3 and 3 would cancel out. 1 and 1 will give us x to the power of 1. all right, so now once you have this, you know, with the rules of exponent, if the bases are the same, we are dividing, we minus the exponent. So we're going to have 2 to the -3 minus into -2. There you go. And therefore x to the -1, if the bases are the same, we are dividing, we minus the exponent, -1. So what you have here, you're going to have 2 This one will give us positive 2, so you are going to be left with 2 to the negative 1, and therefore also 2 to the power of x, rather to the power of negative 2. All right, so can you simplify further, guys? If you feel like you want to stop here, you can stop here, but also you can continue and say this can be written also as 2 to the 1 over 2 multiplied by 1 over x squared, which will just give us 1 over 2x squared. All right, so if you've got a question here for 2.1.1, please let me know on the comment section below. Moving right along, let's move to this question here, which is 2.1.2. all right, if you have a look at here, I already said during the lesson of exponent that whenever you see a division sign, you must break the exponents apart. You must break this apart, break this apart, break this apart, if you can see. All right, so let's do that right here. But if it was a plus or minus, we were going to try to simplify it. All right, so now let's separate these exponents. Now is going to be x to the power of n multiplied by x to the power of 2. So this is this one here. We did take care of that before. It became n x to the power of n plus 2. It was like this before, plus x to the power of n multiplied by x to the power of 1 minus xn minus x to the power of n multiplied by x to the power of negative 1. Okay, all over x squared minus 1. The aim here on what you are doing here, guys, is to make sure that this x squared minus 1 cancels out with something here at the top. Already you can already see you've got an x there squared and the x1 there to the power of 1 rather. So please, the aim here is for you to make sure that you simplify this without using the calculator. Right, so now let's see if we continue here. If you have a look at the top, there's like terms. The like terms, it's x. We have got x to the power of n, x to the power of n in all the terms there. All right, so now this is what you would do. What you would do now, you are going to try to group this in such a manner that what you have here, you have got in a manner that this one will give you x to the power of n. So I'm just going to take this term here, bring it closer to this one, and just to make a rearrangement here between these two terms here. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. X to the power of n times x squared minus x to the power of n plus x to the power n times x to the power of 1 minus x to the power of n multiplied by x to the power of negative 1. So basically what I did here, guys, I just rearranged them. Nothing scary there. All right, nothing scary there, guys. If you're watching these videos, you have not subscribed, please subscribe to assist us to grow as a channel, and then also to acquire sponsors to make sure that we help as many learners as possible. All right, so now here, if you can see, you've got a common factor here. Here's a common factor here. X to the power of n, x to the power of n is a common factor. So we're going to take that one out here. In this case, x to the power of n, take it out, x squared minus 1 will be left here. So let's see, if we remove the bracket, it will go back. Yes, it will go back to, we're gonna have x to the power of n times x squared, and then negative x to the power of n plus. Now in this case, now we take out another common factor here, which is x to the power of n. We're going to be left with x to the power of 1 minus x to the power of negative 1. All of this under a close bracket under x squared minus 1. All right, so now if you can see, now here we are. So now if you can see, we're dividing by x squared to the minus 1, so this can be also be rewritten as xn x squared minus 1 all over x squared minus 1 and therefore plus xn in bracket x to the power of minus 1, therefore all over x squared. Mathematically I did nothing wrong, so now you can cancel out x squared minus 1, x squared minus 1. Here you can't cancel out as yet, but there's a way that we can simplify this. Please, let's do that together now. Let's see. Therefore here we've got xn plus, so much work that we're doing here, and this question is only 3 marks. But yeah, I don't know where did they get a question like this one. Maybe from the old high grade maths and standard grade maths. So now let's see that one there, xn in bracket x to the minus x to the power of n. Let's simplify this. This can also be rewritten at xn x. We can rewrite this according to the exponential as 1 over x. All right, close bracket, all over x squared minus y. All right, so now guys, I'm out of space here, but I'm going to continue right here. So now if you look at this, this is a fraction. We can simplify this by saying we have got a lowest common denominator here. This is a fraction, guys. So please, you guys did fractions in grade 10. So let me see here, what are we gonna do? What is our LCD? Our LCD is x. This is as good as over 1. Therefore x goes how many times? 1 goes how many times here? It goes x. Therefore you're going to say x times x is going to give us x squared, minus x goes how many times? 1. 1 times 1 is going to give us 1. So this is how we have simplified this fraction right here. All right, so now let's see when we continue here what's going to happen. Let's put what we just simplified here. We simplified this xn plus, here what do we have? We have got again xn x squared minus 1 all over x. This is what we simplified from our fraction there. So there you go, and therefore all over x squared minus 1. Okay, so now on the x squared minus 1, if we take it out, and then we take the reciprocal of what is at the denominator there, here we're going to have x squared minus 1 all over x multiplied by 1 all over x squared minus 1. All right, so therefore x squared minus 1, x squared minus 1 would cancel out. Sorry guys, here is to the power of n. I wrote x squared there. Here we go. And then therefore you're going to be left with x to the power of n plus xn to the power over x. And that's how you would simplify a question like this. At this point where it is now, there is nothing that you can do again, but you can leave it in this format, guys. So if you've got a question on this question, please let me know on the comment section below. And then right now we are going to move to 2.1.3. all right, let's have a look at 2.1.3. It still says here simplify without the use of the calculator. Now we are dealing with the sets now. All right, so let's have a look at this one. We are given in brackets here, guys, we are given the square root a plus the square root 2a minus 1. It is also multiplied by a minus the square root of a minus 1. All right, so what you can do here, you remember from the sets, guys, if you have got a set of b times square root of a, you can also write it as b square root of a. So let's do that here. Let's assume that this is b and this is a. So what can we do here? We've got a square root and a square root, so we can put them under the same umbrella of a square root. All right, but however they need to multiply each other. A plus square root of 2a minus 1 close, and therefore a minus square root of 2a minus 1. There you go. All right. So therefore, if you do this, you need to remove the bracket. A times a, still under the square root. A times a is going to be a squared. A times this one here is going to be minus a square root of 2a minus 1, and therefore square root of a minus 1 times a is going to give us positive square root a here, a, because it's this one times this one, this one times this one here, is going to be a square root of 2a minus 1. Okay, so square root of 2a minus 1 multiplied by square root of 2a minus 1 is going to give us negative 2a, put it in brackets here, minus 1. The square root goes away. Therefore, if you can check here, when we simplify, minus a times 2a minus 1 plus that, these ones will cancel each other out, like and like. All right, so therefore in brackets here, what do we have here? We are left with 2a minus 2a plus 1. That's what we're left with. I multiplied with a negative here to remove the bracket. So clear. All right. Okay, if you're confused here, guys, let me know on the comment section below. All right, and then now what we have here is a trinomial, but we know how to factorize trinomials. In this case, let's go ahead and do that. You're gonna have a, and therefore when we multiply a and a, negative 1, negative 1. 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 is going to be give us positive, and then the middle term here will be 2a. All right, so therefore that's fine. We can simplify this further to say, instead of writing it in this format, we can say a minus 1 squared in the square root. Therefore, this can also be written as a minus 1 2 multiplied by 1 over 2, which ultimately gives us a minus 1. All right, let me know what you guys think of this question. If you're getting it right, let me know on the comment section below. If I'm doing a good job, give this video a huge thumbs up, share it with your friends, your classmates, and everybody else that really needs it. All right, now let's move on to 2.2. 2.2, a little bit of a tough question, but I believe that I can do a good job in explaining this one. Please pay attention as much as you can so that you don't miss out. All right, so let's have a look at here. We are given x, y, and z, and then they want us to calculate them together without the use of the calculator. All right, so now let's have a look at here what we're given. We are given 1 minus square root of 2 in bracket x plus y square root of z in bracket is equals to negative 3 plus square root of 2. So now with that, we can divide both sides by 1 minus square root of 2. Also this side 1 minus square root of 2. So that this side, the square root of 2 can cancel out. In a way, what we are trying to do, excuse me guys, I put a double equal sign there. What we're trying to do this side, we're trying to make x and y and z subject of the formula. Hence, that's why I am divided by 1 minus square root of 2. So we're going to be left with x plus y square root of z is equals to negative 3 plus square root of 2 all over 1 minus square root of 2. So now if you have a look at this question here, we are stuck now. There's nothing that you can do. You can't simplify any further. So if you ever find yourself doing sets and then you get stuck, please rationalize the denominator. So how do we do that? We multiply this by 1 plus square root of 2. Okay, we are if it was a minus here, If it was a plus here, here it was going to be minus. So this is how you rationalize the denominator. Basically, it's like you are multiplying everything by 1, because 1 plus square root of 2 over 1 square plus square root of 2 gives us 1. So we do that here. So therefore, the only thing that is left now is to multiply everything out. So these things can also be rewritten as follows. X and y square root of z will remain the same. You can also rewrite this by saying minus square root of 3 plus square root of 2. It is all going to be multiplied by 1 plus square root of 2 close bracket all over 1 minus square root of 2 in another bracket 1 minus plus square root of 2. Can also be written as this. The only thing that we need to do now, we need to say binomial, and then remove the brackets. Okay, let's remove negative 3 times 1 is going to give us negative 3. Negative 3 times square root of 2, negative 3 square root of 2. Square root of 2 times 1 is going to give us plus square root of 2. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 will give us 2 here, and therefore here at the bottom 1 times 1 is going to give us 1 times square root of 2 plus square root of 2, negative square root of 2 times 1, negative square root of 2, negative, and positive negative. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is going to give us 2. Now we can simplify this further, and then when we simplify this, at the top is going to give us negative 3 times when we simplify this, negative 3 plus 2 is going to give us negative 1. Negative 3 square root of 2 plus square root of 2 is going to give us minus 2 square root of 2. All over at the bottom, what do we have? We have got minus 1 square root of negative square root of 2 and positive square root of 2 will go, and we've got a minus 1 there. This side will still remain the same, xy square root of z. Why am I writing square root of 2 square root of z here? All right. So if we continue further to simplify this side here, what we're left with, we're going to have y square root of z is going to give us a positive 1, positive, because we're dividing by this negative 1 here, guys. Please don't get confused. So 2 square root of 2. So if you have a look at this equation here, here is as good as you writing x plus y square root of z. So therefore this simple means x is equals to 1, y is equals to 2, z is equals to 2. All right, so let's go ahead. X is equals to 1, y is equals to 2, and therefore z is what is on the square root. So for what is in the square root, there is also 2. All right, guys, and that's how you would deal with equations like this one. This one was paper 1, November 2023. Please let me see you on the next upload, where we'll be doing question 3. I am Gaston Mapala. See you on the next upload.